Good morning. I am Luigi Son, a summa cum laude graduate of the University of the Philippines in the field of political science. Having grown up in both Manila and a province, I have had enough experience to realize the issues most apparent and important in our society today. Of the many issues and problems in our society today, look no further than those that you see literally everywhere. Every corner, street, and road you can imagine. What do you see? I usually see beggars of all ages. This just proves to show the state of our country that has 25% of the population in poverty. That is more than 24 million people living under an income of 16,000 pesos annually. Although this is an issue very dominant throughout the whole Philippines, it has failed to affect the second issue, our tourism. The Philippines itself is a very beautiful country with nature all around and beautiful beaches in our 7,107 islands. If you have gone out in the past 6 months, then you have probably heard of the pork barrel or PDAF scam. Just in case you haven't, well, this is a government program allocating funds to the House of Representative members with the senators and congressmen who receive 270 million pesos each, respectively, for them to spend as they see fit on local projects such as roads, buildings, and scholarships without supervision of the executive department. As of the 2014 national budget, 25 billion pesos are allocated for a pork barrel of these members. Senator Lacson himself stated that he believes 50% of these allocated budget per member are pocketed, and only the other half is used for its true purpose. Which leads us to the question, what could we do with this pork barrel, which is being pocketed by these corrupt officials instead of being used to help us? Well, if we were to distribute the 25 billion pesos allocated for the pork barrel and distribute 16,000 pesos to each citizen, we would have distributed this to over 1 million Filipinos. Yes, if we abolish the pork barrel, we would be essentially saving 1 million Filipinos from poverty. This is why I urge to change the law regarding the pork barrel and the PDAF scam. Not to mention the Supreme Court themselves called this PDAF unconstitutional. The Philippine government in the past years has faced a lot of criticism, especially with the multiple scandals and issues arising. But this hasn't stopped one of our leading issues from growing, the issue of tourism. Who can blame them? We as Filipinos have been blessed with a beautiful archipelago consisting of 7,107 islands and a variety of water form and land forms recognized worldwide. As such, we have taken initiative as a country to expose these gifts of nature through various campaigns and endorsements, with the famous one being It's More Fun in the Philippines. And we can see the results. Since the first quarter of 2010, where there were 1.7 million international visitors, the number has inflated to 2.4 million in the first quarter of 2014. That is an increase of almost 43% through 4 years. With the rise of tourists coming into the country, an increase of revenue is expected as well. And there is. There was an increase of 15% in total revenue from tourism in 2013 than in 2012. Or in other words, an increase of 4.4 billion in that year. Of course, with such a large number of tourists coming to our country, enjoying our tourist destinations, without supervision, these will not be maintained. But thanks to the multiple efforts by the government to preserve these, such as the Republic Act of 4846, which is an effort to preserve multiple artifacts, landmarks, and monuments. We may have a problem as huge as the 100 billion pork barrel scam, but this should not be a reason to fear. This is the reason you elect officials such as me, Luigi Son, who can promise a government who will abolish the pork barrel or PDAF, or at least modify it to make sure the funds are used correctly, and a tourism industry that will set its goals so high that we will help continue the trend of an improving economy in the Philippines, not only for the rich and privileged, but also for the working class and even those in poverty. As I try my best as a senator to use government funds for their intended purposes, which is to serve you, the Filipino citizens.